This is Boxing Talk 8576. This is a response video to my guy 78 Sports TV on. He was talking about in his video that these big media outlets came after him because they called him a small YouTube channel, and he don't know what he's talking about because he said that Mayweather and Pacquiao was having a meeting, to have a fight in September, and Mayweather came out and said that he would never do business with Bob Arum. So not a lot of these big time um, media outlets are calling, jumping on 78, saying, "Oh, he don't know what he's talking about because he's a small so-called YouTube channel." Let's just get something straight. The YTBC, has been around for a little while now. I just joined the YTBC, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, so I'm kind of new. But I've been listening for a couple years, and it's been around, longer than that. So the YTBC has credibility in the sense that a lot of fans come to the YTBC to get information on boxers, you know what I'm saying, like insights, and listen to other people's opinions and videos. People like 78, people like Blood, people like Carcino, people like Boston Beats and Rams, people like D-Style, people like Zone 6, people like Rollo Jenkins, people like Boxonologist, people like Blood Fist, Ashy Knuckles, D-Block Express, Dante's Boxing Nation, Ego, you know, even Ellie Setbacks, all these guys take time out of their day, and give the fans some insight of what's going on in boxing, give them some boxing knowledge from perspective, from certain people's perspectives on this YTBC. And these big media outlets, they claim to go to school for all this journalism and stuff, and we just do it on our off time. You know what I'm saying? Time, I'm pretty sure people on YTBC that have YouTube channels, they got jobs, so they got other things to do, and we just do this on our spare time. People like 78 has a privilege of talking to some of these fighters, and they trying to wonder, like, man, how can 78 talk to these fighters, and he's like a so-called YouTube channel, small channel? It's because, hey, he's doing something right. You know what I'm saying? He has some credibility. Obviously, he's just not no small channel. He's talking to fighters. He talked to fighters like Keith Thurman and guys like that. You know what I'm saying? He talking to these fighters. So obviously they coming to him for some reason, getting interviews with the guy. He's doing something right. And I know, like he said, a lot of these fighters listen to our YouTube channels, and for some insight, and from they try to get, they try to see the pulse of the fans, because a lot of these guys on here have 3,000 followers, 2,000 followers, 4,000 followers. So we have our pulse on the fans, so they come on here for some insight and see what the fans are talking about. And a lot of these fighters are respecting the YTBC. It's time for the big, so-called media outlets out there to start respecting the YTBC, because we're here and we're not going anywhere, and we're just getting stronger and stronger each day. We do, bicker with each other, on and off, but it's respect. It's all respect. It's all done in good taste. Some people have some bad blood here and there, but we come together and talk about this boxing thing that we all love, to talk about, and we all love to watch fights. So I don't appreciate y'all coming at the 78 like that, because he's doing his thing on here, man. It's like a lot of other people doing their things on here, and they doing it with passion. He has a lot of passion for what he's doing, because you can tell in his videos. And he comes with some insight. What Mayweather came out and said he'll never do business with Bob Arum. We still don't know if what he said is not true or not, because it still could be true. Mayweather could be putting up a smoke screen. We don't know, but y'all ain't always right. I read some of y'all stuff, and it turns out that some of y'all stuff is not right all the time. So why y'all getting on him? Y'all getting on him because he's not in y'all circle of guys that went to college for, journalism. Like he said, he's just a guy that started his YouTube channel, and now he's getting exclusive interviews that probably a lot of y'all not getting. And y'all probably, y'all jealous. Y'all shouldn't be jealous. Just, get on your business, get on your job. You supposed to be doing this for a career, so you shouldn't even be worried about him getting an interview. If you supposed to do this for a career, that means you supposed to be getting your interviews in anyway. You know what I'm saying? But it's obviously y'all doing something wrong, and we over here doing something right. If we're accomplishing what y'all accomplish in a fourth of a day, you know what I'm saying? We not even putting 100% into this stuff. A lot of us is putting like 20, 30, 40, maybe 50% sometimes into this stuff, and doing more, or doing more with less. Y'all have more, resources, and we're doing more with less. We have less resources than y'all, but like he said, y'all jealous in a way. Y'all call it small, YouTube channels, but obviously the boxers, the fighters out there are listening to what we saying. They coming to us, getting interviews and stuff like that. It's like, I don't know, it's like they probably, give us more, of let's say they probably want to talk to us more anyway, because it's like talking in a barbershop. Like, they can come to us and be comfortable instead of going with y'all. They don't know what kind of agenda y'all has, y'all so-called big media outlets have. They don't know, what kind of agenda y'all have. It's like they talking to us, and I hear some 78 interviews, and like the guys that he interviewed, they like comfortable, like they, like they, like one of his friends talking in the house, talking about boxing. So maybe they just more comfortable with us. But don't hate, most of y'all out there got YouTube channels too, and y'all talking about we got a small YouTube channel, but y'all have YouTube channels too. This is Boxing Talk 8576. I'm out.